Well, welcome back. This is going to be the first of 4 videos looking at what is a project, okay? And so let's get right into it. Here are the kind of lesson objectives associated with this. So we want to be able to use at the end of this presentation, at the end of these kind of 4 videos, common business or common project management terms in a business setting. We're going to talk a little bit about the scope triangle and the trade-offs associated with it and in what circumstances it provides value. We'll be able to classify projects and the project landscape. Again, I don't know why it has manscape there. And then we'll be able to define project management and identify the kind of 6 fundamental questions that underline project management. So that's kind of the overarching lesson objectives for all 4 videos. During this particular video, we're going to define what project management is and give some examples of it, okay? All right, so let's get right into it. This is straight out of the book. So here you've got a project is going to be this series of unique, complex, and connected activities that have one goal, must be completed by a specific time, within a specific budget, and according to specification. So very cool. So lots of different characteristics. It's a series of activities. Those activities are not simple. They're not the same activity over and over again, although you'll see the process groups are actually the same. They do have one goal, and so that goal is at the end of the project and provides some value, hopefully business value. Is completed in a specific time, within a budget, and according to a specification. All right, so what's missing from this? I actually mentioned it as I was kind of talking about it there. What's missing? I'm not going to tell you, but you know what? As often happens, it's on the next slide. There it is. So it's this idea of expected business value. You don't do projects for project's sake. You don't do IT for IT's sake. You do it because it's going to bring about some expected business value. So again, some commonalities. This is the definition that the author really likes. So it's a sequence of finite, dependent activities that results in expected business value if it's successful. All right, makes sense to me. Let's look at some examples of this. So the learning management system that you're probably accessing this material from, D2L Brightspace, the actual implementation of that learning management system would be an example of a information technology project. And it's also one where the goal and the solution are pretty well known, and so there's some fairly traditional approaches that can be used to that particular approach or to that particular project. Upgrading a financial system. In the case of the system of Georgia, we use Oracle PeopleSoft, and doing that upgrade again is an example of a traditional approach. Deploying a new version of an existing enterprise system, like DegreeWorks, which is a student advising system. Again, those are all examples of rather traditional information technology projects. But there is a lot more out there that in this space. Instead of implementing the existing learning management system, building a new one would be an example of a IT project. Instead of upgrading financials, building a new one, or writing customization could be a project, or building reports on top of a existing financial system are all examples of projects by the definitions, the 2 previous definitions that we've covered. Here's an example from the learning management system of that kind of project business value. And again, deploying a project for IT's sake, that's meaningless. No one cares. So when you look at this, the one of these metrics, that storage metric, may be an example of more of an IT-centric, but I would argue that that's more of this is faculty participation in the system over time, because they're the ones that are creating all this content. Look at the first metric up there, active courses. So 2010, 34,000 active courses. We're now up to over 120,000 active courses in the fall of each year here in the university system. Growth from 34 million back in 2012 to more than 50 million hits a day by students and faculty. And then finally, that last metric, which looks at treating the learning management system as an app store and doing all of these third-party integrations that allow us to add new functionality and allow the institutions to have some degree of institutional agility. So again, these are some examples of metrics and some examples of business value being generated from the deployment of a new learning management system. And these are things that you would measure after the project. They'd probably be part of your success criteria where you're looking at growth and adoption of a particular technology. All right, well, very good. During this short video, we've talked about, and this is the first of 4, we've provided 2, not 1, but 2 definitions of what a project is. One that's a little bit more traditional, a second one that's more focused on business value. We talked about some of the characteristics associated with what a project is, and we've kind of set the stage for now looking at, well, now that we know what a project is, well, what are the different types of projects? And that's what we're going to examine during the second of 4 videos. So I'll go ahead and finish up now and look forward to seeing you in the second video on IT project management.